Welcome back, everyone. This is Hallie at High Octane Cards with your preview of the Goodyear 400 at Darlington on Sunday. Of course, this is late Saturday when I'm filming this, so most of you probably won't see it till Sunday. So if you're seeing this on Sunday, happy Mother's Day. At any rate, I couldn't get my printer to print off the lineup, so I'll just have a quick top 10 of the lineup at Darlington. So we're going to go with the front row is Brad Keselowski and Kevin Harvick. The second row is Kyle Busch and Martin Truex Jr. Third row is William Byron and Chase Elliott. Fourth row is Denny Hamlin and Matt DiBenedetto. And the fifth row is Austin Dillon and Tyler Reddick. So you got a pair of RCR teammates there in the fifth row. And JGR teammates in row two. Most of your top teams are well represented within the top 10 there. Got a couple Penske cars, got a Wood Brothers car, got some Hendrick cars, got an SHR car, and like we said, the RCR cars. Other notables that are starting in the field: Kyle Larson starting 14th, Suarez 15th, Christopher Bell 21st, and Eric Jones 26th. So a little bit of facts about Darlington. There's been 119 previous races at Darlington. The first was September 4th, 1950. Johnny Mance was the winner of that race. And an interesting fact about that first Darlington race, Johnny Mance did not change tires. He used some truck tires that were a lot harder compound, did not wear as badly as the other tires. As you know, back in 1950, you just brought whatever you could to the track. So Johnny puttered around. He did start 43rd that day, just kind of puttered around while everybody else had to continually stop for tires and broken parts and pieces. He just slow and steady won the race. He actually won the race at an average speed quicker than what he qualified at, strangely enough. The last race at Darlington, of course, was back in September. Kevin Harvick was your winner there. There have been 20 winners from the pole at Darlington. Top 5 winners have come 70 out of 119 races, so it's 59%. Now, this is a pretty astonishing fact here, or statistic. Top 10 winners, 100 out of 119 times, or 84%, the winner has come from the top 10. Only 6 times has the winner started 21st or worse. With, of course, Johnny Mance, we've mentioned him before, started 43rd in the first race at Darlington. And Darlington does hold the record for having the most cars having started a race. I believe it was 1951 or 52, but they started 82 cars, and that's just crazy today, more than twice the amount that's in the starting field today. The race record for I don't know if they're calling this a 400 or 500 mile race, so 2013, so it'd be a 500 mile race. Matt Kenseth held the record at 141.383 miles an hour. The track record in 2014 was set by Kevin Harvick at 183.479 miles an hour. Ricky Craven, Kurt Busch have the closest margin of victory in 2003 at 2/1000ths of a second. Who could remember that crazy finish? And Ned Jarrett has the widest margin of victory, and this is an all-time record of 14 laps in the 1965 running of the Southern 500. Also in 2015, there were 18 caution flags. That is a Darlington record. As I look at the starting field, and I've got 4 pages of notes here that I'm shuffling through, I apologize, I did not get the manufacturer breakdown for tomorrow's race, but I did do some research on previous manufacturer wins. Chevy has 41, Ford has 31, and Toyota has 8. Hendrick Motorsports has 14 wins all time. RCR, JGR, and Wood Brothers are tied for third at 8. I didn't put the Richard Howard / Junior Johnson combo. I believe it said that they had 10 or 11 wins. Just trying to remember that off the top of my head. Kurt Busch is the all-time start leader as far as active drivers with 26 starts. Hamlin and Harvick have 3 wins. Eric Jones has a really unique statistic. He has run 6 races at Darlington and has never finished outside of the top 10, so he is 6 for 6 in top 10s. Kurt Busch has 26 starts. We just mentioned that. He has 0 wins, so he leads all active drivers in that category. Most starts without a win. And J.J. Yaley, who has 13 starts at Darlington, has no top 5s or top 10s. On the other hand, Kyle Busch has 18 previous starts and no poles. Eric Almirola has 11 starts there with 0 laps led. Corey LaJoie has 6 starts at Darlington with 0 lead lap finishes. So those are just kind of some statistical anomalies there that I wanted to point out. And I like that. I like these unique facts and stats and so forth. Kevin Harvick has 782 laps led. Kyle Busch has 716, and Denny Hamlin has 593. These are the active lap leaders at Darlington. I didn't write it down, but Kyle Larson is fourth at 500 laps led, so it's pretty impressive there. We had Talladega a couple weeks ago. We talked about how Talladega was known for first-time winners. Well, Darlington has had 5 first-time winners in its history. Going way back, we talked about Johnny Mance in 1950. Larry Frank also won in 1962. Terry Labonte bookended his career with Darlington wins, the first one coming in 1980, and of course his final win coming in 2003. Lake Speed won the spring race in 1988, and Regan Smith won in 2011. Now, from 2005 to 2019, Darlington only hosted one race, and from 2005 to 2014, that race was not on Labor Day weekend. It was moved back in 2015. In 2020, because of the pandemic, Darlington ended up hosting 3 races, and one of those was a race that was moved from, I believe, Richmond. So there was some schedule shuffling, so Darlington ended up with 3 races, and of course it was the first race back after the pandemic. Just kind of looking at my notes, seeing if there was anything else here that was interesting that I jotted down. Wrote down a few memorable races to me. We talked about the 2003 Spring Darlington race. Overall, that race didn't have a lot of excitement in it. Everybody just remembers the finish, as well as the 2011 Darlington race. We talked about Regan Smith winning his first career race there. And of course, that was the race, that Kevin Harvick and Kyle Busch had some shenanigans on pit road. I really don't recall a lot else from that race. Nothing really stands out. And I can really go into detail about a lot of races from the era that I'm going to talk about real quickly. 1985 fall of the Southern 500, obviously memorable because Bill Elliott won the Winston Million, as was the same thing happened in 1997 in the Southern 500 when Jeff Gordon beat Jeff Burton in that exciting finish. Looking at the 1987 Spring Darlington race, that was just a crash fest, as was the 86 one. Go back and get on YouTube and just type in 1986 or 1987 Trans-South 500. The 1986 race, Dale Earnhardt just blistered the field, led an astonishing, I think, 300 and... I'm just pulling this number out, and I know it's really close. It's like 345 of 367 laps. Just absolutely obliterated the field that day. Only time he has ever passed under green is during pit stop cycles. He just had no competition that day. There were several crashes that day, a lot of attrition that day. So that was a very memorable race for me. It's one that I like going back and rewatching several times. The 1987 Spring Darlington race, very similar in fashion. Dale, again, won, but he didn't dominate like he did the year before, and had a very dramatic last lap pass that you would just have to see to believe. 1988 spring race at Darlington, another crash fest. And I'm not bringing these up because they're crash fests, but just throughout the race, there were just certain twists and turns that was like, this guy's going to win or this guy's going to win. 1988 spring race, we mentioned Lake Speed as a first-time winner. This was just, everything fell perfectly into place for him that day. I highly recommend that one as well. And then the final one I'm going to talk about real quickly here is 1984 Southern 500. Holds a lot of personal memory to me because it was the first Darlington race I can remember watching flag to flag on TV. And my favorite driver, Harry Gant, ended up winning that race, just dominated the race. I want to say he led about 330 of the 367 laps. He started from the pole and was literally untouchable that day. Now we'll move on to the favorites, dark horses, and long shots. For my favorites, you got to go with Harvick, Hamlin, as those two have the two active win leaders there. Brad Keselowski, he's always a strong at most any track. He has 7 top 10s in 14 races there, so he's either going to be up front or he's going to be in the back. I think he'll shine this weekend. And Martin Truex Jr. has a win there. He has 8 top 10s in 17 races, so less than 50% again, but I think he's very strong anywhere you go. I've got a couple of strong guys in the dark horse category. I'm going to put Joey Logano. Yeah, he's got 7 top 10s in 14 races. I just don't see his name being called a lot at Darlington, so I think he's kind of a bit of a dark horse, as is William Byron. William only has 1 top 10 in 5 races. Yes, he's on a 9-race top 10 streak, the youngest driver to ever do that. But right now, I just don't know that Darlington is one of his strong tracks. Ryan Newman, I got him in a dark horse category. He's got 13 top 10s in 24 races. A little more than half the time he starts there, he finishes in the top 10. He's been having some stronger runs lately, and I think Darlington being really aggressive with tires and pit strategy, this could fall right into Newman's lap. And Eric Jones, we mentioned him earlier, 6 for 6, never finished outside the top 10 at Darlington. Don't know that he can continue that streak. Not saying that Petty's a bad team. It's not. Just it's going to be difficult. That's just going to be one of those things. But he is a former winner here, and he could pull off another upset. My long shot drivers, no real surprises here. Michael McDowell, 0 for 11 in top 10 finishes, but he's having a strong season, so he could, with pit strategy, pull something out of the hat. As could Chris Buescher, who's 0 for 7 in terms of top 10s. Austin Dillon has 3 top 10s in 9 races here. He does have a couple top 5s. I believe he was top 5 last fall. But he's hot and cold. He's hot and cold. So that's kind of a bit of a long shot. And Eric Almirola only has 2 top 10s in 11 races at Darlington. We did mention him earlier. Has yet to lead a lap at Darlington. And, of course, to win the race, you got to lead at least 1 lap. And he has failed to do that just yet. So I think tomorrow's race, or today's race, depending on when you're watching this, is going to be a good one. I don't see a lot of cautions, but there's definitely going to be some action. And when you start getting down to the end of a stage, kind of what happened in the truck race and in Xfinity races, you're going to have all sorts of different pit cycles and pit strategies. And you're going to have some people run up front during the race, during different spells that normally don't run up front. So I think if there's a caution with 6 or 8 laps to go in a stage, or the race is going to restart with 6 or 8 laps to go, you're going to see people pit and from the front, from the lead, even if there's 25 cars on the lead lap. People are going to pit from those top 5 spots to get those new tires, and somebody running 18th or 19th may end up winning the stage and just be a big surprise, but we'll have to wait and see. Again, I'm going to do the review on Monday, see how we did on our picks. I forgot to look for for career milestone starts, so I'll double check those in our review video on Monday. So hope you guys enjoyed today's video, and again, happy Mother's Day to all the mothers out there. We'll have a card video up later today as well. So thanks again for watching. Have a great day, everybody.